This is a test of the Casual FC broadcasting system. Do not be alarmed. There's an update.
I tried to hold it in. I was losing it.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai.
Shifty work into the box. And across. It's in. Oh, it's Leroux. It's a dream return.
Welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City preview pod. I'm your host, Mario Salazar, with the entrepreneurial? That's a hard word to say. Co-host Angela Morales.
It's so hard we can't say it, and I sure as heck can't spell it. That there's too many vowels in entrepreneurial.
Starts with an E, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're back. It's still January,
It's
but
day 97 of January.
But we're getting ourselves through this off season. Can't wait to get into the regular mode of covering all these things that are going to be coming up this season. But first things first. First thing that happened for the NWSL was the draft, or as it was formerly called, the college draft. And it took place in Anaheim this year, which meant a bunch of Angel City fans and San Diego fans could have gone. It was free. And guess who was there?
Me.
Boom.
Eva and I went down to Anaheim for the weekend. I took off work early. I worked a half a day. She picked me up and we just jetted out to Long Beach as fast as we could. Got a hotel for the weekend, so we just were able to relax, have fun. She always, we had big plans to go to the draft, and then the next day we were going to go to some games at Long Beach State. And then we woke up on Saturday and was like, do you want to just not do anything? So we did, and then we,
what?
It was worth it.
I'm not mad at you. That's always fine to be like, we had plans and we're not going to do them.
Yeah, I was just both of us so tired. And then the funniest thing was that, and I didn't even tell you this before, our hotel room had a big king size bed, and we have a joke. It's big bed. I can stretch out with my long limbs and just being too tall for my own good sometimes. But they short sheeted us unintentionally. The sheets on the bed completely, the different levels of blankets and all the things were for a double or a full size bed or a queen size bed. But the thing is that on the side of the bed I was sleeping on was the side where nothing connected to the corner. So I woke up tangled in sheets probably 6 different times, and I'm just whatever. It was hysterical. And she's let's just go, we'll go tell housekeeping or whatever. I was no, because I don't want anybody to feel bad. Whatever. It's not that serious. It was funny. But the cool thing was that that next morning after the draft, the hotel we were at had a breakfast bar thingy. And so we're just getting food, so tired, just incredibly dehydrated. One of those where it's where you see those women in old silent movies where they put their hand on their forehead and faint. That was us, just so feeble. But Eva's going to get breakfast, and I'm just sitting at our table staring into the wind, just whoa, I'm so tired. And I had a sweater that my mom got me for Christmas, and it has a cute little saying on it. And these women they're older women, they're oh my gosh, what does your sweatshirt say? It's so cute. And they're oh, what are you in town for? Are you here for a trip? And I was oh no, the women's soccer league, their draft was last night in Anaheim, so we went down for it. Now we're just kind of hanging out. And they're oh, you like soccer? And then this woman, one of the couples, is these 2 older couples who are getting ready to go on a cruise. And they're oh my God, my daughter plays soccer. She loves me a ham, blah, blah, blah. And so we started talking soccer, and I was I'm going to go grab some stickers from my hotel room. Give me 2 minutes. And I just bolted down the hallway. Eva's where are you going? I was I got to get stickers. And then after that, they were so excited. They followed, the lady's daughter followed the podcast. They were so pumped. But they're just really sweet, and they were so happy to know that like there's advocates for women's sports still. And I was like, these late, like it was so cute. And the like husbands were just like confused at first, and then I said something like, you can put me in front of a TV and I will watch just about any sport that's on, and I can probably tell you more than I should know about it. And one of the guys like asked me like some random sports question, and I just answered it, and he was like, oh, you weren't kidding. And it was very funny. They're like not grilling me in the way that like dude bros do it, where they're like, oh, name 10 people on this team. But it was like, are you for real, for real? And it was just really cute, and they were really sincere. And they had I wish them like, happy sails on your cruise, whatever. And legitimately, we just went back to the hotel room, and like I've dozed off. I think I took 2 naps. Like we were exhausted because the draft started at 4 p.m. We're like, that's when you could go in. We met up with a bunch of friends, like through different supporter groups. Like we were hanging out with Jackie from Women Kick Balls, who, spoiler alert, we get to interview. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
We had a blast, but it was like, it took forever. We were there from 4 p.m. Like we got into the convention center a little bit early, so like 3:30 really. And we left at 10:15. Because we didn't get back to our hotel till like 10:30. Eva drops me off so I can go check in, goes to In-N-Out around the corner. Like we were like, I need sustenance. But it was so much fun. And like to be in this room, and honestly, like we'll put together like a reel of videos and pictures and stuff, because the atmosphere, the vibe, like it was so much fun. You walked into this, like I've been to the convention center in Anaheim for a bunch of different things, actual conventions, basketball games, all sorts of stuff. But in the room that this was in, you walk in, it's dark. There's NWSL logos all over the place. There's like blue, pink, red lights. Like it was so, so cool. You've got a stage with like Jordan and Jelly. Like just, you have the broadcast stage. You have DJs who were playing the best mixes. It was the ultimate like millennial just goodness. We were hanging out, like I said, with Jackie from Women Kickballs, Tori from Rebellion 99, a couple other people we've met. Like it was so much fun, and we were like, oh, we're all the same age. Like you can tell the elder millennials in the room. Yeah. But they had all the tables set out for the
anytime
teams.
There's a DJ and music comes on, when you see the group of people vibing.
Yeah, like that's the age group.
Like there's the age group, and then another song comes on, and then that group goes like, "What the hell?" And then the other group starts vibing. Then you're like, "All right, there's the islands. Yeah. There they are."
It was wild too, because in the first round, San Diego had a pick, and like they had 5 screens, and the 2 on the outer, like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The one in the middle had our logo. With like the clock is ticking and it's like counting down, and then San Diego logos. Everyone in that room was freaking out, just completely.
I remember
like,
you texting me thinking like we traded for a first round pick or something.
Like, did we just trade? Like nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's like, wait, no, they just messed up. Like we're not the same team. Of all teams to mix up, to have it be San Diego and us was insane. The fans, like there was a bunch of people from Poderosas, Pandemonium, Rebellion. I don't know if there was any from the other like Valkyries or Mosaic. I think Mosaic was there.
Valkyries were there, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like
I think all of them. I think all of them were represented in some way. Relentless was there also.
Then everybody was there.
Yeah, just because I'm sitting at home scrolling through Instagram, like following all their accounts and stuff, and seeing like all the videos posted. I was like, dang, I want to be there.
And it was wild. Like we went, Eva was like, I'll stay here. I'll like, hold our seats. And so a few of us go over to where their red carpet is, and they're taking pictures and stuff. The next thing you know, I'm having like an in-depth conversation with Julia Ehrman, just the owner of the team. Ended up talking to the other Angela, Angela Hucles Mangana. And she is just, wow, she has such an aura about her. Like the way Julie's just like bam, 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 like making big moves, doing the thing, super pumped. Angela is so chill. I introduced myself to her. I was like, I just like as another Angela, I just wanted to say hi and like let her know you're doing a fantastic job. And she was just like, oh my God, another Angela. We told like Eva and I told her about the podcast and she was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I give out a ton of stickers. The draft picks were great. So like when in the third round, our first pick was Felicia Knox, and like everybody just hooting, hollering, having a good time, and she was there, and she was the one of the three of ours who was there, which is really cool because I don't think she quite understood that all of the rowdy fans were from Angel City because she gets up on stage, goes and talks to Julie, and then a couple of the different Angel City reps come over to like they like heard us all. They're like, "You go over there to the red carpet. We'll meet you over there in 2 minutes. We just got to get her through the press and everything." And we're like, "What?" They're like, "Go, big family picture." And we're like, "Oh, okay." So we all like just huddle up on the red carpet, and this poor, sweet, like innocent 22-year-old or however old she is, like walks up and sees easily 75 people, like, woo! Everybody's cheering for her, like, what the heck? And so she's literally trying to thank everybody for being there, and we're like, no girl, this is your moment, not ours. Like you enjoy this. So sweet, so gracious, like just so overwhelmed. Eva looked at me at one point and was just like, oh, this poor girl. I was like, I know. There's so many of us. I mean, she got decked out in supporters gear from I think 3 or 4 different supporter groups. It was so cool, and the reception was so nice. The other 2 picks, so we went in with pick 37 and 51, and we traded $15,000 of allocation money to get a second pick in the 4th round, which that's a lot of numbers. So third round was our first pick, and then the funny thing is we were like, are we going to stay? Are we going to go? And like by this point, because we had been in the back for so long, it had already gone into the 4th round, and we're like, oh, okay, like, I don't know, it's like 7 more picks until our next one. Everybody's just drained by this point. It's like 9 o'clock. And then all of a sudden, like, the graphics come up and it's like, there has been a trade or something like that. Like, dun, 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 the lights change. Like, it felt so legit.
Was it a little like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like,
yes.
dun, 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 and then like the lights flashing.
Yeah, there were sound effects. It was great. But they're like, I don't even know who we got the money from anymore. I think it was Portland, but it was like, it doesn't matter. It's Monopoly money. It's allocation money. Who knows? But they're like, there's been a trade. Angel City traded 15,000 allocation money to whatever other team, I don't know, for the 42nd pick. Whatever number it was. And then we picked up Jessica Garziano from St. John's. So Felicia went to Alabama. She's a midfielder. So, woo, midfield. Jessica Garziano, also midfielder, went to St. John's. And then, so we're like, the funniest thing is Eva and I were like, do we leave? Like, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. You know, like, it's that time of like, we're so close to the end of this, but at the same time,
they told me this would
like,
end at a certain time.
Yeah, I'm tired. Like, I had to work for half a day, and then, like, it was just a really long day by that point.
Excuse me, soccer matches are 90 minutes.
Right. We talked about this with the Angel City Kicks. Like, there's a time limit for this. We know how this goes.
Yeah.
But we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, you know, like the lights go on, dun dun dun, the trade, and we're like, oh crap, well now we gotta stay. Like, because then it was all of a sudden like, well, we don't know if she's here. If the pick is here, we want to cheer for them. You know, like it's the same kind of thing. We don't want to just like be like, woo, congratulations, I'm tired. And so when that second like surprise pick came in, it was like, well, now there's only 4 more until our last pick. What's the point? Like, we have to stay.
Yeah, you just might as well stay.
Yeah, and we were going to go to the after party, and I think everyone was like just toast at that point, including the team. Oh, I was also wearing my undetweetable shirt because it was cold and I had a hoodie on and I wanted to make sure that you could see it.
Yeah.
And
that one's a little vertical. It's a
little bit more upright. And when I was talking to Julie, she was like, "What does your shirt say?" And I was like, "Oh, undetweetable." And she was like, where did you get that? And I was like, oh, it's podcast merch.
Oh,
And she's
we
like,
made
who's,
it.
yeah, no big deal. And she's like, whose podcast? And my friend Alex just goes, hers, like just pops in out of nowhere. Just like, it's her podcast. And Julie's like, what? And then she took a picture of me and sent it to Becky because she was like, guys, this girl. And I was like, oh my God. The nice thing too with Julie was that she's part of an organization that I'm also part of, and she was given an award last year, so I got to congratulate her for that. And it was just a really nice conversation. I'm grateful like for women like this who are so approachable, so like comfortable talking to fans. There were a few other team owners who were there that you were like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be around real people. We were sitting behind the new owners for the Portland Thorns. And the head owner, it's like a family, and the wife, mom, female part of this group was up on stage, and then I just hear somebody goes, she looks like a Disney villain. And it's like, if this is the agenda to get all these powerful women who look like they could be like movie villains into these roles, we're here for it. Like, she had on this red furry jacket, like bleach blonde hair. Like, it was funny. I found out some other things that happened with them earlier from the security guard because we were chatting it up. So I got the cheese made, but that is not for public consumption because I'm not trying to talk too much shit. But seeing like these owners are just stupidly rich. Like, these women are so incredibly rich and they don't exist in real life. Michelle Kang like floated through the masses. At one point, like, we saw her eating food, and I don't even remember who said it, just leans over and goes, she eats the food of the peasants, the regular people. Because apparently she had somebody who opened doors for her, and we were all like, I don't understand. Like, what is that level of money? She looked like she just floated.
I see it. Like, I see that she would have this, like, I don't touch doors.
Yeah.
I mean, she walks around with, like, essentially a cape. She walks around with, like, like the jacket on top, or is it literally
the jacket
a cape?
where you don't put your sleeves in?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's actually a cape. But sometimes it's that I don't put my arms in the sleeves. Like, I don't know. That's a different level. That is not normal people rich. That is rich. But I mean, she had on like a black outfit, or maybe it was navy, and I couldn't tell because of the lights. But had all these like embellishments, and then she had a Washington Spirit jacket cape situation. Like, it was wild. But when I think it was Utah who we made that money trade with, because when it happened, somebody from like Pandas or somebody else that was on that side of the aisle just went like, thanks bestie, to A-Rod, who's the coach of Utah. And she just started cracking up. Like, they were having a good old time, the Utah party. But yeah, it was a blast. If wherever the draft is next year, I really hope we can go like together, but also like in general, I will go. Because it was just so much fun. It was nice. Like I said, Jackie was there, and she just kept popping back and forth, and we were cracking up. Like, it was just so silly and so much fun. We got to say hi to Panda and Nina from Angel City Chicks, and it was nice having this community within the community. And it was a blast.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what we're all here for, and that's why we,
Yeah, that's why we do what we do.
It's fun to see the IRL versions of of the people that you talk to online all the time. So, and because we all have this shared passion.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a blast. And like, you're getting to talk to people that are like, oh, what do you do? Who's your favorite team? Like, what's this? What's that? That like the security guard was like, who are you affiliated with? And I was like, nobody. I'm just here for fun. But yeah, it was solid. It was a good time. So our third and final pick was Madison Curry, who is a defender, and she played at Princeton. And the funniest part was that when they announced her, my tiny little 5 foot tall girlfriend, Eva, jumps up and just goes, New Jersey, because she's from New Jersey. And we have a joke that like in every draft of any sport, any playoff run, something, New Jersey is always like sneaking in there, messing things up. Like Monmouth University went pretty far a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Gotham won, and they play in New Jersey. They can claim New York all they want, but that team is just in New Jersey.
Well, they secondary claim New York. They're the New Jersey, New York Gotham.
That's
FC.
fair.
So
that's fair.
They're real. They're real. All right.
Yeah. So it was just so good.
So I was totally jealous about all of this. So you went on Friday. On Sunday, I decided to go down to Anaheim, except I took the kids. We took them to California Adventure and spent the day at at the parks. So
we honestly, when you texted me about it, Eva and I were like, do we go? And I was like, do you have the energy to go? And she was like, no.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's getting, we had the energy to go.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, that bed was rough the night before. But yeah. So I was down in Anaheim that weekend also. But just to kind of bring everybody back up to speed on what happens to these draft picks, right? We picked 3 players. There's a whole lot of wheeling and dealing for other teams, and they got picks, multiple picks. So yeah, players that are drafted are automatically put onto the senior roster, right? Onto the roster of whatever team they got drafted on. Really, what being drafted means is that the team that drafted you gets your signing rights. They're the ones that get to sign you to a contract, and no one else is allowed to like pickpocket and like steal you from them. So players get to go to spring training, which spring training begins today through the 29th. It has to start between this week, essentially. Doesn't mean that
today's
all
the 22nd.
teams... Yeah,
also,
today's the 22nd.
We're recording on 22nd.
So spring training could start up today. Anytime during this week, teams will start, gathering their people. I think there's already been videos of like a couple of Angel City players like in the weight room and training and like checking out their like balance and all that good stuff, which means they're probably full on in training now.
Yeah, they're doing all their physicals and metrics and everything, like the start of the season stuff, where it's like, did you do anything in the off season, or did you like how hard did you train?
I've sent you that video of like the UFC fighter. I think he's like, I don't know, he's like Irish or something, and then like the reporter is asking him because he's like post match just downing, like scarfing like a big old giant piece of pizza, and then he's like, aren't you gonna don't you miss that 6-pack? He's like, look, I'd rather be fat and happy than, boring and ripped.
Yep.
That's me during the off season or during the season too. So it's all good. So yeah, players get to go to spring training. They get to train with the team, but the team has 60 days to either make them an offer, trade them. They are a player essentially, so they can be traded to another team, or get waived and say, peace be with you and so long. So that's 60 days from the start of training. So basically the timer has started.
Yeah.
So this kind of sucks. I mean, all of this is great. They get to train, they get to show what they're made of, all of that stuff. But also it sucks where if the players actually decline, right? Say you get the offer and you're like, I'm going to walk. No, thank you. Like, thanks, but no thanks. Mm-hmm. So you can say that. Say you got say one of these players got an offer from a Liga MX team or a team in Europe, and they decided, hey, I'm going to go play over there instead. The team that drafted them actually gets to keep their rights for 3 years.
That's a long time.
Okay, so if the team did offer a contract and they declined it, the team gets to retain their rights for 3 years or however long the contract offer was. So if they got a 1-year contract with a 1-year option, they get to keep their rights for 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. If the team never even got to offer anything, but they decided to bounce, the team automatically gets to keep their rights for 3 years. So that's the kind of downside of the whole draft, right? Like you're entering and you're like, they're going to keep my rights. You can't leave to a team or you can't leave to say Liga MX, try it out. Say you get dropped in a year, you decide to come back to the NWSL. You don't get to sign for whoever you want. You actually have to go back to your original team. So with all of that, countdown has started. 60 days from now, there needs to be a decision. So teams can have up to 40 players on their senior team roster that are training with them, but they have to declare all of them by January 29th. These 3 picks are going to be on that 40-player roster. By February 26th, that roster now needs to be cut down to 32.
Oof.
And by 3/13, a team roster can only be from 22 to 26 players, has to be formally submitted to the NWSL. So we'll know.
Well, yeah, because that's opening weekend, the 13th. Yeah.
We'll know by then or before what the fate of these players might be. So let's get to know our players a little bit.
Yeah. So Felicia Knox, the coaching staff, like the FO folks that were there, all said in the post pressers and everything, we did not expect her to still be available in the 3rd round. And I was like, ooh, what does that mean? Because that's like she's a sleeper pick then.
She's sleeper
cool.
pick. So they were like gunning for her. They were like, all right.
Yeah, because they were excited. Like, they have a little paper like that says like the pick is in, blah blah blah. They have the name. Like they were the second, like that turnaround was so fast. Of the clock is ticking, like Angel City. It was like the pick is in.
Well, I mean, also just to give a little context, there was about like 240 something players that submitted their names. Basically, like as we said, the goblet of fire. You put your name in, and hoping to be
Somebody
part of this.
Somebody screams your name, and
yeah, but only 56 picks, right? Out of those 4 rounds, only 56 players are going to be picked. So, that's already tough odds already there. That's why not all the players are there physically, right? Like the fact that Felicia was there, she was gunning for it. She had that confidence, and good on her because she got picked.
Yeah.
So
and her family was there. It was just so sweet. She walked around this corner and just looked at this herd of like this mass of people and just was like, you saw that like, oh no, look on her face of like, what do I do?
I did see the picture get posted. I don't remember who posted up first. It was, some of the supporters groups, or maybe it was a retweet from Angel City or something. But there was the picture of all of you. And then I'm like, wait, Angela, she's right there.
Yeah, we were like right in the middle. Because I knew where, like, it was one of those where I'm like, I'm going to position myself where I think the middle of this picture should be, which is underneath this one specific logo. And that's how pictures are taken. I just happen to know things sometimes. But let's talk about Felicia for a little bit. So like I said, she's a midfielder who went to Alabama. It was really funny. As soon as they announced it, you just hear "Roll Tide" from like 10 people. And she looked like, yeah. She has been awarded so many different things in her time at Alabama. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of all of this because it's major. So she was a 2022 All-American, which, dang, already. Sticking in 2022, she was also the SEC Midfielder of the Year, like for the SEC conference. And that's, like, the SEC is such a powerhouse conference in every sport, basketball, football, soccer, like literally everything. The SEC is, they got money.
Yep. And then being midfielder of the year, I mean, singled out that way,
Insane. And then she was also named the Women's College Cup All-Tournament Team and the CSC Academic All-American Team Member of the Year. She was an Academic All-American in 2022. So for those of you who don't really know, like All-American means that you're like top, cream of the crop, top of everything in your sport. When you're an academic All-American, that means I think it's a 3.5 GPA. Like you have to maintain a 2.0 base level for the NCAA.
You're good
depending
and
on
you're
what
smart.
school you go to and your sport, the bare minimum, and that's all you got. That's all the only boxes you have to check. The majority of schools require more than that, of like a 2.5, 2.75, 3.0. Like, you have to try.
Yeah.
Showing up will help you. Most likely you'll pass. But to be an academic All-American and just an All-American in the same year is really difficult, because that means you're performing on the pitch and in the classroom at the same like level, which bonkers. Felicia also holds the Alabama career record. Like, she holds the assist record for the University of Alabama. And she set the record in single season assists and single season assists per game. That's hard. Like,
To keep the
that's,
average up, like,
yeah, you to keep the average up so high that you set the assists per, like, the average. You set the average, and that's the record, along with like just having the most single
that
season
just
assists
that just
ever.
means that she was consistent, right? Like, there was no spikes and drops. It was like she was
Absolutely.
consistent across the whole thing.
Yeah. Apparently there was like a little knock, a little injury this last season that kind of messed with her a little bit, which is why she didn't put up the same numbers, but like, that's fine. It's there. You just got to be healthy. So, like, cool. With that said, 2022 and 2023 season, she was named the first team All SEC women's soccer team. So, like, yeah, sign me up. We need a solid midfield, given who we've lost. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna have to. But like, losing Sav and Danny and Simone,
News today, yes.
Yeah, the news broke today that Simone is going elsewhere, and I just wish her the best. She is the nicest person in the whole wide world. But we need a solid midfield, so I hope these kids come in and, show them the ropes and really put up like what they can do to at least keep them on the practice squad, because you never know what can happen. Over her career at Alabama, she played in 87 games. 84 of them she started. And over the course of that, she had 18 goals and 31 assists. So she's a playmaker. She's in the mix.
She's in that
I
attacking
like
mid,
this.
basically.
Yeah. I'm down for this. I was excited. Like, no joke, the names were called, we were Googling. Immediately. Everybody's like, where'd she go to school? What'd she do? What's her stats? What position is it? Like, blah, 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 like little buzzy bees everywhere.
I mean, I was doing bedtime routine and then Googling on the side. So.
Definitely. And then when it comes to Jessica Garziano, she's another midfielder from St. John's. And I think she's currently still a grad student there. So you can kind of, like, if you finish your degree early, but you still have active years of eligibility, you can just go to grad school at the same university. And a lot of times when you're an athlete, it's really like easy to do. There's a lot of combo programs you can enroll in, all kinds of stuff. But St. John's is no joke educationally. And to be drafted from like a school that is more known for academics than it is sports is dope. And two of these three women are coming from schools like that. So Garziano, in her career at St. John's, she played 90 games, started 83 of them, had 22 goals overall and 32 assists. This last season, the 2023 season, she had 10 goals in just that season alone. So I don't know what happened, who graduated, what happened, what moves she made, but to score 10 goals in her last season and 22 over, like, it's like 3 years she scored 12 goals. And then boom, just like lit up the field her senior year. Like, good for her. She knew what was happening, knew when to capitalize on it.
She was ready for it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Madison Curry, who went to Princeton, she's actually from Orange County as well. So it was like Orange County, New Jersey, like it was like all these connections, and it was really great. So she went to Princeton, and like, okay, Ivy League, like no big deal. She was a 3-time first team All Ivy League player, United Soccer Coaches All East Region first team and second team, and then a United Soccer Coaches third team All American this last season. So she's putting up awards too, just in a different way, because Ivy Leagues are different too, and coaching, it's different in every conference. But like, this is major. In her career at Princeton, she played 51 games, started 48 of them, 3 goals and 4 assists as a defender. So like, she's moving the ball. She's where she needs to be to help out her team. And I'm really excited to see what happens with these 3 women. Whether or not they end up on the team, I don't know. But I hope that they are like kept within the ACFC realm in order to kind of grow their game and get called up when they're ready or end up with the team. I don't know. I'm excited to watch them play
Yeah,
at any time.
Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, being a draft pick does not guarantee you a spot. So
It's rough in these streets.
yeah. So out of those, 200 plus players that put their name in the Goblet of Fire, and then only 56 got selected, even fewer are actually going to get contracts. Like that's some hard numbers. So
Yeah.
this is what.
Welcome to women's sports.
So for the 2024 season, all teams can have 22 players to 26 players on their final roster. I mean, I know we've had some big losses, but we've also kept a lot of our core team from last year's. Okay, so this is Angela and Mario coming to you from the future of when we recorded this podcast, present time now. Things are getting weird. Time means nothing. So much has changed. We were trying to be proactive. We were trying to be good podcasters and saying, hey, let's pre-record this and let's do our research and let's have it in the can and ready to go. Nope.
And Angel City said, bet. Bet. You thought you were being prudent and recording an episode a week early. You thought. You know it's bad when you're like, we should re-record this whole section. Yeah, we should. So you want to do that later? Yeah. Like,
yeah, we're gonna
immediately just like, yeah. So much has changed.
So much has changed. We're back to re-record what we had because the details have changed, and they're very important details. So right now, what I'm going to go over is what our team looks like at the moment. Now, I did a breakdown of this when we recorded a week ago or a week and a half ago, and everything's changed. So here's our current breakdown. We have 3 keepers, Anderson, Hericic, and our new signing from Japan, Hannah Stamba. Stamba. Yes.
I think I'm going to go with Stamba until we hear otherwise or get a pronunciation guide.
Okay. Then there we go. 3 keepers. We've got 8 forwards. And these are all people that we have signed, okay? We have 8 forwards. We have Katie Johnson. We have Clarice Lebion, Jasmine Spencer, Kristen Press, June Endo, Sydney LaRue, Casey Fair, our 16-year-old Korean international superstar,
Phenom.
And Messiah Bright.
Messiah Bright had an insane season. Insane.
Yes.
And that news broke at 8 a.m. I literally let's hope my boss isn't listening to this, but I something told me just pull up Twitter 4 seconds after I get to work. And I just looked at it and it updated and boom, right at the top, Angel City signs Messiah Bryce for $250 pretend money. And I'm like, okay. What?
And a red and green Monopoly house.
Right. I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, I called Eva because she was like, can you make sure I'm up by this time? She was sleeping in a little bit, but didn't want to sleep in too late. And I called her and she was half asleep. And I was like, we signed Messiah Bright. She woke up real quick. It went from hey to what?
Yeah. Oh man, I was getting texts and I think I was driving to work and you were texting me right away. And I was like,
because it was me.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got 8 forwards now. We've got 6 in the midfield, which we were very concerned about our midfield during this offseason.
I'm not concerned any
6 is a
longer.
solid number, and we've got some really good high pressing defenders, and we've got some good like low forward. Like I think we're good, but we've got 6 midfielders. We've got Alyssa Thompson, Amadine Henry, Lily Nabet, Elizabeth Eddy, our new additions Maggie Daughtry Howard, and Rocky freaking Rodriguez.
Yeah, I feel like frickin' is a real good middle name there because for those of you who don't know who Rocky is, she's like the all-time scorer for the Costa Rican national team. She's been up in Portland for the last few years. She's stupid good. Like, she is such a solid presence in the midfield that, like, the second that one broke, a couple of our friends, like, I think flew into the sky. Like, just elevate, like, what is it? They floated, they hovered, they just like,
Socials like blew up, like all the ACFC people that follow us, people we follow, like everything just was blowing
supporter
up.
Groups, just everybody was like, Rocky Rodriguez. Like, I think I had to walk outside at work because I was like, I was checking Twitter at my desk, and I was like, I cannot be in this room. Hello, help! Like,
and
can
again,
someone be excited with me, please?
and that's what I'm here for, and that's exactly what it was. Is like true to our name. You're our expert. I'm the casual, so I'm like, Rocky, why does that sound familiar? And like, I got the download.
Text message. Yeah, Rocky is insane in the midfield, and woo, like between our attack and now our midfield being very defensively fit and also very offensively minded, the combination of that is insanely dangerous. Like, yeah, Gotham got all these big names, big signings, but like, okay.
There's also a question of how well they're going to gel. Like
that part, granted, it's national team 2.0. So like
it is, but like national team, the amount of times that they get together and they have to like gel, for some high intensity matches, but now you're doing this for an entire season where you got to gel together. So, I mean, they're going to be phenomenal still.
Yeah.
But,
this team, don't count it out. Don't sleep on Angel City this season.
No. And then moving on, 9 defenders. We've got M.A. Vignola, which Vignola, who I forget who came up with it. It wasn't us, but props to you.
I think it was Isaac on iHeart.
Was it?
I think so.
If it was,
I just remember being so mad it wasn't us.
Yeah.
or Andre on. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. It was someone cool.
Yeah. Vanessa Gilles, who is still on loan, but as a loan, she still counts towards both salary cap and player cap. We've got Megan Reed, Paige Nielsen, Allie Riley, cap. We've got Sarah Gordon, Merritt Mathias, Madison Hammond, and the other Thompson, Giselle. Now, if you've been keeping up with all the numbers that I just read out, 3869, that is a total of 26 players that we have signed contracts for currently on the roster. And you want to know, and I've said it earlier in this podcast, I'm pretty sure I did, but you want to know what the roster cap is? It's 26.
Yep.
That's it. We technically can't sign anybody else. And we haven't signed freaking Claire Emsley. She does not have a contract.
I don't want to talk about it. Okay,
couple hot takes, right? Couple hot takes, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Go with your hot takes, and then I'll come in with my theory because I know they're related.
Okay, so 1. Vanessa bounced. She's like peace out, y'all. I want to be in France. I want some wine. I want some cheese. I want to play football out there. Love and peace to you, girl. Maybe I'm trying to figure out why this loan just keeps getting extended. Is it Angel
Same.
City or is it Leon?
Yeah.
Who is the party that's not fully committing here?
Yeah, I'm really curious because it's very possible that she does want to come back soon, but so they're keeping that option open, but girl, you're having the time of your life. Just dive in head first. And I'm also curious too if they kept the option open in case the sale of the team, because Michelle Kane
True. Yeah.
is buying, has bought, now owns Leon. So that's a possibility. I have questions. As much as I would love to see her on our back line, I don't know where she fits now. It was very obvious when she left, dang it, we're in this big giant hole. Luckily for us, MA was healthy and was able to come and start playing and basically turn my world upside down. But I'm so curious where Vanessa would fit in this lineup. And that's not to say that she doesn't have talent, because she's one of the best defenders in the world. But I just have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
I would love another roster spot.
I mean, I would love if she came back and actually played for us. But the fact that she's been on loan, what feels like 15 years. Yeah. And yes, I would love another roster spot. And then the thing that, I'm really trying to be don't put the juju out there. But I'd rather keep my expectations low and be happy than be this is what's going to happen, and then it completely not come true. Everybody's freaking out that there was no SEI, season-ending injury designation, next to Kristen Press's name when the training roster came out for preseason. Now, I'm just saying, I hope she's out there. I'm just saying they don't technically have to declare her an SEI till March 13th.
Yep.
That's, I'll listen back to the podcast and see where I said this, but if I haven't said that yet, the 29th was the day that the 40%, up to 40% roster needed to be submitted to the NWSL, including all trainees, invitees, draftees, everybody. And then mid-February, I think.
I want to say it's the 13th.
Okay.
It's soon. Or no, it's March 13th. I think it's February 26th.
Okay, yeah, somewhere in the 20s of February, the roster needs to be cut down to 32, I believe, and that needs to be submitted to the NWSL. And then by March 13th, 3 days before the season starts, the final 26 roster has to be submitted. So if Press is on an SEI and they claim her as SEI by the 13th, that's an open roster spot.
Yeah.
Now,
the one thing with SEIs is that you can declare an SEI and then it doesn't have to be the whole season.
Yes, she can come back later.
She can come back.
So,
which makes a little rule fudgy situation happen.
Okay. Put your tinfoil hat on. This just came to me. Press has already tweeted that she's not up to 100%. She's not at training just yet, right?
Right.
So she goes SEI.
No full contact for her yet.
Yeah, no full contact. She goes SEI, does not count towards the 26. Claire gets a contract.
That was going to be my hopeful situation.
Yeah. Summer window, Vanessa gets fully sold. And Press declares that she gets off the SEI.
the entire city of Los Angeles would melt, like just explode, full on
Her
freakouts,
the
full
summer
on
comeback of press.
the even if it's a half season revenge tour, please can I have it? Like, dear listeners, our wonderful, lovely Mario does not know too much of the history of Miss Kristen Press. And I
Don't at
haven't
me about it.
had he's new. He's new. I'm not the Kristen Press walks on water because I don't think she believes that. Is she a fantastic player? Does she have skills I have not seen in other players? Yes, 1,000,000%. Like, we all know, and I think you know too, like Sebi calling Kristen Press's goal and just being like, Kristen Press, what have you done? Like, it is one of the most wonderfully called goals in all of women's soccer forever. And that goal is dirty. Like, it is just so bonkers insane because what she has learned to do that not a lot of players do is when she is getting ready to kick the ball like towards the goal, not just like to pass it, she knows how to kick it in stride. So she doesn't give away what her plan is. And that was like one of the first big moments of that on the big, big screen. And she is a force to be reckoned with. And I think so many of our newer fans in the Angel City fan base, like, you didn't get to see that to the capacity. Like, I would love to see CP play under Becky. I think it would just be
Yeah,
one of the best things that happened for her career.
if you go
Because,
back to the
oh,
like the YouTube or whatever, like she's in all of the highlights at the beginning of the season, right?
yeah,
And
if she got
rightfully
the
so.
ball,
So she was the big signing, but I would love to see her back, and I would love to see I would like to be brought up to be like, this is press. So I
yeah,
hopefully tinfoil hat predictions come through. Now,
absolutely. I'm on board with those tinfoil hat predictions.
what all of this means in the context of this episode is not so great news for our draftees.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a big time bummer.
As I said, I'm pretty sure I said this earlier, draftees do not have guaranteed contracts.
Mm-hmm.
The teams actually have to make a decision within 60 days whether to trade them, let them go, or give them a contract within 60
Yeah,
days of the 22nd, because that's when they started. It's whenever they start their spring camp.
yeah,
So at this point, I don't know what's happening with them. I wish them all the best. I was hoping that there was a way that they
yeah.
would get on this team,
There was a
but
way
it's
before
not
we
looking
signed
good.
Rocky. Yeah. Like, before the Rocky signing, I was like, oh, I think Felicia's going to make the team. Or one of the others. Like, doesn't matter who. Just like, okay, we got one.
Yeah.
The second the Rocky signing was announced, I was like, never mind. Like, nope, that's not happening.
We might get to
But,
see them in an Angel City kit at Coachella, the
hmm
Coachella Valley Invitational, but that might be the only time.
yeah. And I hope that they're kept on the practice squad. I don't know what the pay is for that and like what the situation is around that. It's kind of vague and
Yeah.
hidden.
We'll see if we can ask and figure out what practice squad means as far as like being a player. Like, are you
Yeah,
just doing it for the love of the game? Like, no, like you got to be paid, right? So
yeah, yeah,
hopefully that makes sense, and or hopefully they get a chance to get traded and actually play for another team, right?
yeah. I wish these three the best. Like, it looks like they're having a blast out there
Yeah.
in Thousand Oaks, and like, it's such a bummer. And we recently talked about this on an interview episode that's coming up, but it's like there's only so many spots. And with league expansion, we get more spots, but it's still not enough. There are so many qualified, amazing players in this country, and it's not enough. We could have 20 teams and we would still be overflowing with players
Yeah.
that could play at the professional level. And that's the thing that, like, I think a lot of people forget is that women play differently than men. Their career trajectory is different, and we don't know the ceiling for that yet. Like, Krieg's just retired at 40, 41, whatever it was.
Yeah. Although
Like,
I was listening to something earlier that was like it's mainly because a lot of players do start their career later. Now with the way things are signing, I mean, we have a 16-year-old. You
yeah,
know, there's a handful of them in the league, right? There's more than a handful of under 18s. So
it's curious.
with players coming in at a younger age and playing at a high level at a younger age, are they going to have careers that have lasted as long as some of the players currently?
Yeah, I honestly think so. Because, like, you look at Casey Fair. She's been playing professionally in South Korea. But the thing is that she's not on her high school team, a club team, another team, like another local team. She's not playing every single day for 3 different clubs. She's playing for country and club. And that's it.
Yeah.
And you're actually playing less by doing that. So I don't know. I don't know what the ceiling is. There's a lot to be said, but the last like week and a half for Angel City news breaking has been absolutely bonkers. My head's been spinning. We unfortunately also said goodbye to our beloved Simone Charlie, and I think it broke everybody's heart.
Yeah.
Free agency is something that is incredibly important to leagues in general because people are allowed to find ways to play where they want to play. And it's not necessarily because she didn't want to stay in LA, but I have a feeling she wanted to be a lot closer to family. And like a lot of family, I believe, lives in the southern states and in the Caribbeans. I don't remember. I think she's Barbados. I don't remember. But like she's visiting her grandmother on some island over the break, and it's like, yeah, go be closer to them.
Yeah.
We lost Danny Weatherhold as well to North Carolina. I blame Tyler Lucy. Richie knows. I texted him because he loves Tyler Lucy. I'm like, this is your fault. Talk to your girl. But we lose 2 major players, but we signed Messiah Bright, who, again, requested the trade because of personal reasons. So I
Yeah.
hope she's doing all right.
Yeah.
And I hope being out here is good for her. But, like, free agency, Rocky came down. Like, these women who have been playing in this league for years are finally getting the opportunity to have a decision in where they play and have a choice. And that's like as hard as it is to watch them walk away from our team, at least they can.
Yeah. I mean, walk away or run in the wrong direction on the beach. They can. They're allowed to. They can do that.
Poor Savannah McCaskill will never live that down. Like, you're running north. Just
Yeah.
everybody being like, you're running the wrong direction. What? Stop it.
Okay, so that was our update that we needed to pop in. We just needed to clarify everything, or else everything we would have said in this podcast would have been wrong. We're probably going to go in a deeper dive. The week we have a ACFC 2024 breakdown, looking forward towards the season, a week before the season starts for us. So keep an eye out for that. We'll probably go a little bit more in depth, and you know what? We might have more updates to all of this. I mean, I don't know
sure
how, but there will be. We'll get surprised. So now back to the regularly recorded podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
With that said, we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up, and we kind of just want to give you guys a little dabble, a little precursor for what's happening. We're doing quietly in the background right now a whole bunch of interviews, talking to every supporter group rep that we can get our hands on, folks in the FO. Like, we want you, if you are not already involved with supporter groups, to get involved with them. It's just good. It's good for the game. It's good for the team. It's good for you. It's good for everybody. So we've got a whole bunch, like a whole series of those coming up. We hopefully, depending on this stupid freaking ambiguous schedule that exists in the ether right now, we will have a match preview for every regular season, postseason, preseason, whatever match we get. We'll hook you guys up as best we can. We were joking the other day that most likely there will be some solo pods of just like, hey, so Angela can't make it because of this. Mario can't make it because of this. We're recording 7 episodes this week. Like, just something bonkers, and just popping in wherever we can. We just want to make sure we get the information out there because we know how helpful it can be. So match previews, supporter group and interviews and overviews, Olympic coverage. Like, you get to listen to us instead of Bob Costas. Like, be so pumped about this. I'm very excited about the Olympics.
I mean, we started the pod mid-season, and then we're like, oh, we did 2 episodes, and then we're going to take like a long break because of the World Cup. And we're like, we're doing World Cup coverage. So you know what? We're going to keep that going and doing Olympic coverage.
Yeah, longest season in NWSL history and Olympic coverage. Oh, and the NWSL has announced that they are going to have a tournament for the folks who are still here during the Olympics. So there's going to be some kind of little in-season shenanigans. We don't know what it is, but we got you. And like I said, we've got other interviews, hopefully, that are going to be panning out. Jackie from Women Kickballs. I almost called her by a nickname that we created for her at the draft, and I'm not going to do that to her because I want her to stay my friend. But she's super pumped to be on the podcast. We might do like a little switcheroo where she comes on here, we go on there, whatever. She's just absolutely great. She's doing a lot for women's sports media right now. And I believe truly in my heart of hearts that she's the future of stuff like this. We've got another podcaster that I'm really excited to learn more about and talk to that we're talking to this weekend. Hopefully one of our iHeart announcers, if we can get our schedules to meet up. Like, I'm just so excited for the stuff we're doing because it's like I'm currently living the dream. I am living for like 17-year-old Angela's dream, and I did not realize that until right now.
Stuff is becoming real. And
very, very real. Like, I texted Mario from the draft going, we need more stickers. Like, immediately.
And they're coming. I just got the shipment notification.
Yeah, like, I'm pumped. Get ready. We have stuff. Speaking of, we are in the midst of creating and designing merch and more merch, but like tastefully, not aggressively so. It'll be a slow little dribble of merch coming in. We've got a really cool season starter that I just really want the schedule to go out
as soon as the schedule's done, like, we can release it. But yeah,
but very, really, truly, thank you. Like, thanks for listening. Thanks for following us. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for promoting us. Like Mario said, we started this thing mid-season last year on a hope and a prayer. That conversation started via Slack the weekend I graduated from grad school while I'm sitting in PNC Park at a Pirates Blue Jays baseball game. Like, the worst baseball game I've ever seen with my eyes. It was shenanigans. But I'm sitting there and like he and I are having this conversation. He's like, oh, you should totally do this. Why don't you do it with me? No, I won't. I don't want to listen to my voice. Yeah, but you agreed that this was a good idea. So let's do it together. We had never met in person. And next thing you know, like, we're fast friends, family basically. And we're just ecstatic to be here. So
and
thanks, everybody.
We love hearing from all of you, all the messages, all the answers to our silly questions on Instagram. And we like to joke that, like, you know, we're getting messages from essentially strangers, you know, not our own family, but that's what makes this thing fun and exciting. And, you know, we like to think that, you know, when you message us, you're not strangers anymore. And we get to meet some of you in stadium before the game. Sometimes I've given some people stickers, you know. Their name escapes me at the moment, but someone won my tickets. Zach?
I feel like it's a Zach. I don't know.
Zach is one of them.
Is it Zach?
No, okay. No, but someone else won my tickets.
Right.
Because, you
Anthony?
know. What's that?
Oh my God. It feels it was 100 years ago.
It does feel like it's 100 years ago, and we're doing a lot of this off the cuff. So thank you. And we're just we're going to be doing this as long as it's fun for us, and hopefully it's fun for you guys too, and y'all enjoy it. So thank you. If you like this and you're here, hit the subscribe button. You know the drill. Apple, YouTube, Spotify, all those places. Check out casualfc.com for all the pod links. Share casualfc.com with someone and they'll get all the pod links. Follow our socials at casualfcpod on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and TikTok. Mostly Instagram, but you know, we update the other ones as much as possible. Again, sharing is caring. Tell a friend about it. It brings good luck. We hold on to that luck, and we're going to send it off to the team as soon as the season starts. So keep sending it over. And then, you know, if you ever feel inclined, and some of you have, and I honestly, truly, we both, from the deepest part of our hearts, appreciate the ones that have bought us coffees. If you want to help support the pod by buying us a coffee, check out our link on our socials or go to buymeacoffee.com/casualfcpod.
We actually almost have enough saved for one actual coffee.
Yeah. But you know what? I think it's more the gesture of the fact that you guys support it so much that you'd actually throw us a buck, and that means a whole ton. So yeah, guys, thank you, and can't wait till we get more into it.
Yeah, fingers crossed we get press passes. I'm just throwing it out there.
2024
Fingers
year of the
crossed.
press passes.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.